is about a guy who's a knight in shining armor, except he lives in a world where knights don't exist anymore.
My ring.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2014 action thriller, The Equalizer. The film is directed by Anton Fuqua and it stars Denzel Washington, Martin Scorsese, Chloe Grace Moretz, David Harbour, Bill Pullman and Melissa Leo. Now, the film focuses on Denzel Washington's character, Robert McCall, who essentially is like an ex-CIA. He has been retired for some time. He tries to live a quiet life, and he befriends who is a local prostitute played by Chloe Grace Moretz called Terry. They have some pleasant conversations. He grows quite affectionate towards her, and then she is almost killed by the Russian mafia, who essentially control her. And Robert McCall isn't going to stand for that at all. So he tries to negotiate her release. When this is refused, he basically goes to war with the Russian mafia in order to get them off the streets. But also at the same time, he decides to help out some of those who are being preyed upon by really horrible people. And he's trying to set the balance right. Right, what are my thoughts on The Equalizer? Well, I make no secret about the fact that I absolutely love these movies. I think Denzel Washington is an incredible actor anyway, and pretty much enjoy everything he's ever done. But I think for these type of movies, these are my favourite type of Denzel Washington movies. I just think the first Equalizer especially is just superb. I mean, I think Anton Fuqua and Denzel Washington, who have collaborated on a number of films now, are made for each other for these type of movies. They are fantastic together. And the character of Robert McCall here, played by Denzel Washington, is so beautifully crafted, not only by the writing, but also Denzel Washington, who, when he took the part, the character had very little backstory, character wasn't particularly fleshed out well, and he took it upon himself to kind of, add like the OCD elements and things like that, and fleshed out the character a little bit more. It made him feel more real and layered in the film. And to say nothing of the fact that I just think the way the action is filmed in this movie is very special. I really do. It's just absolutely brilliantly done. Slick, smooth action. And you could easily argue that this is on par with John Wick, even though they are completely different films. I mean, there have been people kind of hinting and suggesting that it should be a crossover film with John Wick and Robert McCall. Now, I'd pay money to see that. I really would. Denzel Washington plays this role so effortlessly of this guy with these moral values who is not proud of the past, the things he's done in the past, and he wants to set things right and kind of stop the poor innocents being preyed upon by some of the horrific people in our society, and he's not going to put up with it anymore. And to see his kind of progression through this film of this reluctant hero at the beginning to what he becomes at the end, essentially a vigilante who will help people sort out the problems in their lives. It's a real brilliant arc in the film, and I just love this. Whenever I see this film, if it's on TV, Film 4, whatever, I will always watch it because I never ever get bored of watching this film. The choreography, the fight sequences, the creativity that goes into the kills in this film, because I don't even think he uses a gun in this film, and if he does, it's fleeting. It's very creative in how he takes out the bad guys in this film. And the way it's filmed, the way it's incorporated into his, obsessive compulsive disorder, how he times everything, and that scene where he goes to meet the Russian mob for the first time in the nightclub, and he tries to negotiate Terry's, released from from the Russian mafia, when he basically goes to shut the door and lock it, you could see that it's a big decision for him because he knows there's no coming back from it, and then just goes through these thugs like they don't exist, and then basically pronounces to the head of the Russian mafia in that nightclub, you should have taken the money, you're dead now because you didn't, basically. It's such a great scene. It is really good. And then you've got a really cool bad guy. On the flip side, you've got Robert McCall, and then you've got a really good bad guy, played by Martin Sissokis, and I probably haven't pronounced that right, who generally plays bad guys in movies anyway. I think he was in Triple X and Kingdom of Heaven. I've only ever really seen him as a bad guy. But he plays an excellent, I think this is arguably his strongest villainous role here in this film, about this guy basically who is sent over from Russia to find out what's happened and who has killed these men. So he's got his own investigation going. And you can't wait for the conclusion of the film where they finally come face to face. And there's a brilliant scene in this film where Denzel Washington confronts him in a restaurant, face to face, and for me it's one of the highlights of the film. Then there are many highlights of this film. So I love the Equalizer films. I enjoy the second one as well. I think it's excellent. I don't think it's up to the standard of this one, but I am going to cover that in a review as well. And the reason why I'm covering the Equalizer films is really quite simply because the Equalizer 3 is coming out very soon. I think it's released in September. I'm not sure if it's in the UK when it's released in September, but I am really excited. I definitely am going to be, going to the cinema to watch the third one. The trailer looks great, and I'm very excited to see, a conclusion to the trilogy of the Equalizer films. For those of you who don't know, the Equalizer films, the Equalizer is based on an 80s TV show that I actually do remember watching it, and it starred Edward Woodward back in the day. It was a very popular TV show, a very similar concept essentially with Edward Woodward, being a bit of a vigilante and helping those that couldn't help themselves, really. So a very similar concept than this movie. I do believe as well they have turned it into a TV show. Is it Queen Latifah? Which to me, I haven't seen it. I'm probably not going to watch it. For the main reason being is they haven't finished with these Denzel Washington films yet. Why would they do that? Why would they turn it into a TV show when these films clearly haven't finished yet? So I really am a big fan of this film. I think it's brilliantly made. The action's slick. Denzel Washington is outstanding. He's a real standout in this film. There's loads of cool scenes. It's got a cool bad guy, and you even get to see David Harbour in one of his earlier roles before he made it into the big time as well. So yeah, if you've never seen The Equalizer, guys, I strongly recommend you check out this and the second one before the third one comes out in September. And for the rest of us who really do enjoy this film and the second one, let's get excited for part 3 very soon. So thanks for watching, guys.